We've always had peace in our marriage, but there were seasons where peace felt missing, not because we were arguing, but because there was this quiet pressure, the bills, the unknowns, the stress that creeps in when you don't have a clear plan. We weren't fighting, we just didn't have a system, and once we figured it out, everything changed. And in this video, I'm going to show you the simple 10-minute habit that brought clarity to our finances and even more peace to our relationship. Firstly, we got honest about our money personalities. One of us was more detailed, the other was more big picture, and there's nothing wrong with either of those. We just needed to understand each other. So Brittany is somebody that pays more attention to detail. Believe it or not, right? I'm the finance guy, but she's the person that looks at our bank statements every single day, whereas I've got the plan. I'll assess it maybe once a week or once a month, but it's good that our two strengths are working together. So we dream together, we plan together, but I had to quickly realize her personality when it comes to finances, and she needed to learn mine, and together we identified our strengths and we are working towards a common goal. Most financial arguments that I've seen with some of my clients really isn't about money, but it's more about miscommunication. So not talking about why we are spending about particular things. So you've got one person in the household who spends more than the other person, or it's just, this is how we're going to do it. But when they start communicating about things, just that stress and burden seems to go away. The second thing that we actually do is we've got check-ins, right? And these are weekly check-ins where we talk about financial stuff. And so it could be 10 to 15 minutes. It's not necessarily on our calendar. It could be on our calendar where we set aside every week on a Sunday, we're going to talk about finances. But throughout the week, we'll talk about different bills, things that we want to pay off, how we should approach different things. We talk about what's coming up, maybe surprise expenses, what's working in our budget, what's not. And so it's not a budget meeting, but it's more of a peace meeting. So again, we could schedule it. We don't personally because we're constantly communicating through the week, but it's not more than 10 to 15 minutes at a time. So what this brings is clarity, and clarity replaces conflict. We don't have conflict in our marriage, and in fact, we never really had conflict, but it just brings more peace. And that's what I honestly believe. Again, working with people, even if it's just a quick 10-minute check-in, it could prevent a week's worth of tension in your household. We're also in a place in our lives where we know what our priorities are. What is the priorities for the Weber household? So we don't have to agree on every single purchase, but we know what the priorities are. And so we might not always agree on every detail, but we unified on what our goals are. We unified that we want to become debt-free. We unified on how much we want to have in savings and that we want to invest. We unified in how generous we want to be. And what that does is it ensures that we stay aligned, and that even when things shift slightly in terms of more income coming in, we know that what we are going to do with that income. We know where we are going to, as opposed to when we didn't have a plan and where we didn't have true laid out priorities. So this will help you guys. If you don't have priorities or goals for your families, get that. It's important because it's going to ensure unity, and unification is essential. And then lastly, we give each other grace. And so I know I don't always stick to the plan perfectly, and Brittany might not stick to the plan perfectly, but together we adjust, we adapt, and we continue to move forward. And if you're walking this journey too, whether you're married or not, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel where I'll be sharing things that we are doing to walk in peace, purpose, and unity in our finances.